Yo, what is going on everybody? XpertGamer here, bringing you guys a video on my Xenoverse 2 wishlist. Now, if you guys are wondering why I posted this video out of the blue, and you are unaware of the survey that has been going on, Bandai Namco released a survey on some website, and basically, they want feedback from Xenoverse so that they can make Xenoverse 2 a better game according to what the fans want. And that's really cool because a lot of game companies don't do that. They just release whatever the hell they want. So I'll leave the link to the survey in the description below so you guys can take it for yourselves. And if you guys don't even play Xenoverse but you at least know a few things about it, still take the survey so that we have a chance at getting Xenoverse 2 to be more of a perfect Dragon Ball Z game. Back on topic to the video though, this is going to be my Xenoverse 2 wish list. Now, if you guys don't agree with everything I say, which most likely you won't, and if you guys would also like to add in something that I forgot to say, that's what the comment section is for, so leave your own Xenoverse 2 wish list down there. But without further ado, let's get into the first thing that I want to talk about. When Xenoverse first came out and I got into all the online and even the story mode, I was actually really disappointed with the combo system. I don't really like how it does everything for you. You hit X, or whatever A, whatever your hit button is, and it does all the combos for you, and if you switch it up, maybe something different happens. I just don't really like how the game does everything for you. I like actually hitting button combinations myself, so that when I learn a new combo and I master it, I actually feel like I earned it, rather than it just being given to me. Now, I'm not saying that in Xenoverse you can't pull off cool combos and you can't master them, because you definitely can. You can in pretty much every fighting game, but I just wish it was more the player that did it, not the system, if you guys know what I'm talking about. And one more thing that I want to speak on about the fighting system is how heavily people rely on their supers and ultimates. You could be down the entire game, get one good super off, and it can literally flip the entire, not one good super, one good ultimate off, and it could just flip the entire game into your favor. I don't really like that. I like you earning your win, rather than it just being handed to you by pressing two buttons at once. The next thing that I wanted to speak on is what a lot of people actually say is we need a larger roster in Xenoverse, because when Xenoverse first came out, everybody thought the roster was, pretty decent. It wasn't going to be a Budokai Tenkaichi 3 where like every single character was in the game, but people thought it was pretty big. And then you start to actually play the game, use all the characters, and you're like, who am I gonna play now? Like, the roster's getting kind of dry, so we just need more fresh characters so that, playing online, playing through missions with different characters throughout the show won't get boring. And another thing that I really didn't like about Xenoverse 1's roster is how they just wasted slots that could have been used for cool movie characters or side characters, but they just gave it to the joke characters like Apul, Raspberry, and even Hercule. Now, I'm not downing you if you like to play those characters, because they're fun, but I mean, I'd much rather have a more serious character that can actually do damage, like Janemba or something along the lines of that. And that's why the Xenoverse modding community is so big, because people are making the mods of characters that other players wish were in the game, but they're not, because the roster is just way too small. And that's honestly why I like to do these mod reviews, because I'm like, hey, that would be really cool if this character was in the game, but he's not, just because the roster is so limited. Moving on from the roster, now what I want to talk about is the story mode. I just don't want to play through the main Dragon Ball Z story that all of us know and love, and we've played through so many times because all the games just keep on redoing it. I want to be able to play through the movies. I want to be able to play through the TV specials. It just felt to me that the regular Xenoverse 1 story wasn't really that interesting. I didn't really like it, and after the first few missions, I was just like, okay, we're just gonna go to this arc, he's gonna get taken over by Demigra, do the same thing over and over again. It just has to have some sort of diversity to make the story interesting to play. I don't think that this video is just me bashing on Xenoverse, because I love Xenoverse, it's one of my favorite games, but they just could have done so much more to make it better, and that's what this video is about. So I'm not bashing on the game, I'm just giving my thoughts. I just thought that I had to get that out there before people thought that I just didn't like Xenoverse and I'm just hating on it, but those are just my honest opinions on the story. Now, this next thing that I'm about to say is a given for any game that has an online mode, but I just feel like I have to say it because I just don't want it to happen again. They need to get better servers. Now, I remember when Xenoverse 1 first came out, and me and my friends were all in the Xenoverse Skype chat, just waiting to play the game with each other, play through the story in a Skype call. None of us could even get into the game because the servers would shut down constantly over and over and over again, and it would take, 10-15 minutes just to get into the game. And that's honestly ridiculous. So when this new game comes around, they are going to, and I think they definitely will get better servers because they know how well Xenoverse is gonna sell, so they can prepare for how many people will be on the game, so servers won't crash, people will get kicked out of the game. But that's what happened with the Xenoverse 1. The game was just too big. Too many people were trying to log on at once. People would get kicked off. People wouldn't even be able to get into the game. But that's all I really have to say about that. And I think that this will not be a problem in Xenoverse 2, but I just had to add it onto my list because that was one of the main things that made me annoyed about that game when it first came out. The servers are fixed now. I can get on whenever I want. It'll take like 10 seconds, but early on they had to make that one of their bigger priorities. Speaking on servers again, I don't really like their server system. To get into a game with your friends so that you guys can constantly be pumping out parallel quests to grind up your characters, finding each other is a mission in itself, but then actually implementing, your party when you get it together and putting yourself in all the missions is another mission. You have to keep on walking up to the desk to do missions. Let's say you just want to keep on doing the same mission over and over and over again. I wish that you guys can just stay in a lobby and pick a parallel quest from there. It's just way too difficult. It takes too much time. Now this problem can just be fixed by not being lazy, but it's just all game convenience. A lot of games nowadays, they're convenient for you so you don't have to do all these things yourself, and that's how I feel that Xenoverse games should be. The next thing that I wanted to talk about is custom characters in fighting. Now, obviously, I don't even think that this is debatable. The custom character is the best character in the game. You can take all these overpowered supers, all these overpowered ultimates, and just put them all into one character, and also top it off with an overpowered Z-Soul. So, created characters are pretty much quote-unquote broken. So, how they could fix this problem, I actually don't know. I have no clue at all. The only way that I can see it is that if they took all these supers and ultimates and just lowered the damage on them and also heavily nerfed the Super Saiyan ability, characters would not be broken. They'd still be pretty good, but they just wouldn't be as dumb they are now. And this is coming from somebody who is 100% anti-Super Saiyan spam. The only time that you would catch me ever Super Saiyan spamming in Xenoverse is if I was doing it as a joke, but 9 times out of 10, you will never see me doing it because I just don't think it makes the game fun. And not surprisingly, a lot of people actually stopped playing the online fighting mode altogether just because of all these characters who could just keep on using the same move over and over again with no drawbacks at all. Now, I'm not saying that it's impossible to break a Super Saiyan spammer, because you definitely can, but if you slip up once and you get caught in their endless loop of ultimates, you just can't get out of it and you lose the match. But that's all I'm going to speak on about the Super Saiyan spammers, all the custom characters. But moving on, I wanted to talk about the uniqueness of the story characters that you can fight as. Now, when you play as them, you're like, okay, cool, I'm actually playing as this character, and then you start moving on to the roster and getting familiar with these other characters, and then you're like, wait, this character kind of feels like this character, and he pretty much fights the exact same. So the point I'm trying to get across is that I want every character on the roster to have their own unique characteristics. By no means am I saying that most of the characters fight like each other, but there are definitely some noticeable characters that just seem like a rehash of this character or that character, and you can just fight the exact same way with them. And to be honest, that's how most Dragon Ball Z games are. A lot of the characters are just rehashes of each other, just in a different costume, and they have their own custom moves. But there's not much more to say on that, so the last thing that I wanted to talk about is replay value. When you finish the game and you finish maxing out your character, I want the game to give off the feel like, hey, maybe I should just play through the game again just because it's a good game. And I can say this from experience. A few days ago, I was looking for a game that I could replay, and there honestly weren't many that had replay value to me. So that's one of the main things that I think Xenoverse 2 should focus on. They need to make the game worth the replay. Because you can play a game once and be content with that one play and just have enjoyed it, but if you play a game twice on your own time, The game must have been really, really good. But that's all I really have to say. That's my main Xenoverse 2 wish list. Just to recap, we have the heavier combo system, the larger roster, the story mode, better servers, character customization, character uniqueness, and the replay value. So tell me what you guys thought about my wish list. Leave your own in the comment section below. What do you want them to put in? What do you even want them to take out? I didn't even talk about that. There are a lot of things that they could take out, but that's a video for a different day. But leave a thumbs up on the video if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new to the channel and you would like to see more Dragon Ball content. I'm just getting back in the groove of recording. I'm back at home. Well, I'm gonna end it off here. Hope you guys enjoyed. Peace out, everybody.